Are you broke on payday? Are you tired of always having to look at price tags for everything? Well, author Magnus Carter is aiming to teach readers the tools and tactics of fiscal responsibility and financial independence. He's got a very concise and easy to understand book out on the market, Making More Money for You, Mutual Fund Investing on a Budget for Beginners. Lots of bases covered right there. The author himself, Magnus Carter, joining us this morning over the phone. Good morning, Magnus.
Good morning, Craig, and good morning, Wisconsin.
Now, the funds here that we're talking about, how do we make more money than we ever thought possible with these funds? And could you describe the mutual funds for those not in the know?
Sure, but before investing in the funds, you have to figure out where you're at financially so you can actually afford to invest.
Mm-hmm.
So, to do that is the book talks about the first couple chapters of actually taking accountability for your finances, seeing where your money is going, seeing how much you're actually getting paid, and seeing how much money is left over at the end of the day. So once that's determined, and you find out your net worth, which you are worth with all your assets, such as your car, your house, and what debts you have, such as your credit card bills, student loans, loans in general, then you can actually start investing. And mutual funds is a more practical way for getting your feet wet, if you will. What a mutual fund is, it's a group of stocks that are actually bundled together to invest in companies. So you're investing in stocks, but they call it a fund because there's multiple stocks in one to classify it as a fund. So if one of the companies is not doing so well, but the other two are doing well, or three or five, they come in a variety of different variations, if you will. Also in high, low, and middle risks, as well as for returns. But once the way it works is, if two to three are actually making money, you're making money on your investment.
Sure.
It's a lot safer. It's safer, but it's not safe.
Yeah, I suppose nothing really is 100% safe in a business like that. So the beginning, the groundwork is kind of figuring out where you are, how much you pull in, say, per month, and all your expenses and things that you buy. How much money do you need then to get started with mutual fund investing?
See, that depends on the mutual funds themselves. You don't need a lot to invest. You can start with one share in a mutual fund. That can range from, depending on what risk and the companies that are involved in it, you can start as low as $25. You can go up to as much as $5,000 if you want. It all depends on your classification of how much risk and the companies that are associated with it. It doesn't take much to start investing.
Sure. Well, that's good. How do you determine your buying power then?
Well, what you do with your buying power is you get your budget set. Then you find out how much money you have left over and what money you have access to if you need to sell something. If you want to sell something, that's your assets, like your car, your things. You have to sell them is what money you have. And that's actually considered your buying power, is how much liquid, meaning they can be converted into money or cash or some form of it, and be able to buy something with it, such as stocks.
Sure.
Or
now, let's say hypothetically here, Magnus, somebody like me was going to start things from the ground up. What's an example strategy that somebody who's just starting up can use?
Definitely, the book talks about setting a budget. You definitely need to find all your bills. The more honest you are with yourself and where you are right now, and the better you're going to make for investments in a brighter tomorrow. So there's actual sheets and worksheets that you have to do the work with. You actually do have to plug the numbers in, but it'll calculate how much you're actually spending compared to what you think you're spending. So you would actually do that. You would then go to find out where, after you find that and you find your net worth, after you add up all your assets, then you find out what you want your money to do. You want to say you want money later on in life. You'll actually take a less riskier approach, but you would actually have more money later on in life, like 5-10 years or so. But if you want money in the near future or access in the near future, you would go medium risk. But if you want money like tomorrow or, a year from now, you would go a little bit higher. But just remember, high risk equals high reward. But you also have a higher chance of losing money.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, you got to remember that both ways. Yes, I suppose you got to risk something to make something, I suppose. Magnus Carter with us this morning on the WCUB Breakfast Club. He is the author of the book, Making More Money for You, Mutual Fund Investing on a Budget for Beginners. Now, let's say, Magnus, I start making money. My investments start making money. What do I do then?
See, that's a great question because people don't know what to do when you're making money. You don't know if you want to reinvest it. You don't know if you want to take it out. You don't know if you want to actually broaden, say, go into a different form of investing. So the book also covers that as well. It gives you options. It also tells you the penalties and fees associated with those options. Don't forget, everybody wants their little cut of your money they make. You have your government to think about. You have taxes to think about. You have fees on top of that, trading fees. And you need to take all that into consideration when you're moving your money. Even though it's not a lot of fees or it could be not a lot of taxes, you still have to take that into consideration instead of keeping it growing.
Now, the book came out back in, September, I believe. How has it helped people so far, Magnus?
It has helped many people of all ages and of all walks of life. I had my testing group was actually from 18 right out of college that got out of school, that went right into the workforce, to people that are just starting families, that just got out of college, people that actually just got their own first job and don't know what to do with all that extra money. And it all spanned all the way through retirement folks, people that have all the money that they made. They don't know what to do with it, or they inherited money. It has helped many, many people. And my reviews are proving that. I'm getting emails from it. I answer questions, what they can do with it, what are options that are actually covered in the book, that they actually want to think a little bit more outside of the box or a little bit more advanced. But it has honestly helped quite a bit of people because when we're growing up from schooling and whatnot, we're not taught how to use money. We think of money as an end and not a tool. So this book actually gives you some of the insights and tips and tricks and strategies that successful investors use to make the money, to keep the money flowing in, to have a better tomorrow, to buy what they want to buy, or leave it for generations to come if they want.
Yeah, you mentioned, Magnus, young people who are just out of high school or just out of college, they got that first job, and it's kind of one of those things where, okay, I have all this money, but I don't really know what to do with it. And I suppose this is one of the big things that you want people to take away from this book.
Yes, most definitely, because in high school, we're not taught about budgeting. We're not taught about the consequences of overspending or credit card debt or loans or any of that. We're given very limited knowledge on how the world works outside of college or outside of schooling.
Yeah.
This actually gives you a basis of what to do with your money, where you can create a budget, where you are responsible for all the little subscriptions that add up like super quickly. It's even though it's $5-6 here or $15 there, or your daily Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts coffee. We all do it. We all do stupid things with money, but we're not all actually concerned with the consequences after that when we actually need the money or something.
Yeah. Credit cards can kill people too.
Yes, they can. And it becomes a trap. And then we're in a cycle of working to pay them off for the things that we've bought that we thought we wanted at the time.
Again, Magnus, where can people get their hands on a copy of your book?
It can actually be found on Amazon. It can be found in an electronic copy, an ebook, paperback, hardback, and also audio on ACX, on Audible, ACX, or I believe it's Apple. Apple has it as well.
Okay. Everywhere quality books are sold. All right. We have our author of the book, Making More Money for You, Mutual Fund Investing on a Budget for Beginners, author Magnus Carter. Congratulations on the book, Magnus, and I know you're going to help a whole lot of people out with this. Well, actually, you have already, but yeah, you're going to help plenty more out in the future. Great information here. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you much, Craig, for having me on your show.